Thank you. The next item is item B1. This is our 1015 item. This is to receive and take action by adoption of a resolution by directive of the School Board of Hillsborough County regarding a call for a referendum by the school board for additional ad valorem taxes. Sam Hamilton from the County Attorney's Office will take us through this item. We do have representatives from the school district here if there are any questions as well.
Good morning. Sam Hamilton, County Attorney's Office. This is going to be a little repetitive. As Ms. Wise just said, this item pertains to the school board's proposed property tax levy referendum. As noted in the item, the school board superintendent requested that the board take action on the matter and specifically identified November 5th of this year as the date for the referendum. With that, we're here for any questions. It's your pleasure.
Commissioner Wolstel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There has been much dialogue from members of the community with the board. So the first thing I would like to clear up with Attorney Beck is that the law is clear that we don't have the option to say no. And I would like for the members of the community to hear that directly from the legal.
Yes, Commissioner Wolstel, you're absolutely correct. The way the statute is drafted does not give this board any discretion to not take action.
Thank you very much, Attorney Beck and colleagues. I did lots of review on this. I talked to many legal experts, and I have read the state statutes, Chapter 1011, that governs the school board's authority to direct us to place this tax on a general ballot. However, there are other elements of the tax that exist under state laws, Chapter 1011. As we know and have been repeatedly told by members of our community countless times, the excoriating increases of cost of inflation, compounding in the past 4 years alone of over 20% at a minimum on our communities. Something that might have cost $1 only 4 years ago costs $1.21 today in the United States of America. Individual household incomes have not increased at those same times and to that same scale. It is my understanding, Attorney Beck, after reading Chapter 1011, that the county commissioners are empowered with the element of timing of when the tax should go on to a referendum on the ballot.
Yes, Commissioner, based on the wording of the statute and the rules of statutory construction, while you do not have discretion of whether you can take action, we do believe that this board, that the only way to make sense of the statute is to read it such that the board has some discretion as to timing, reasonable discretion.
Thank you very much. And so to the communities, to the members of our community, I have heard you loud and clear. I have read your emails, the painstaking emails of senior citizens on fixed income being priced out of your own homes, low-income family members being priced out with rent increases or mortgage increases or property increases. This board hears you. And with that information being said, I move to utilize the power granted to the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners under Chapter 1011 of the Florida State Statutes that empowers us to decide the timing to work with the school board on the proper time to place this referendum on the ballot with a recommendation of the general election under state law of November of 2026.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Wolstel, second Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We all know that the school board, in particular Superintendent Ayers, it's come before this board and hearing from the community as well, and a number of teachers, the PTA Foundation, expressing to this board earlier this year the importance of putting this tax on the ballot on November the 5th. And so I'm going to make a substitute motion, if I'm in order, Mr. Chair, for a substitute motion to move for approval for the School Board of Hillsborough County, the school board calling an election on November 5th, 2024 for a referendum of the school board to levy additional ad valorem taxes for operating expenses in accordance with and as mandated by the state of Florida. We all know that our teachers are underpaid. We hear it all the time. And these funds would be used if the voters pass this. That's what it's going to be used for. And we have teachers leaving our counties, going next door in other counties to work. Let's take care of our teachers who help our children right here in our county. It is really imperative that we get this passed this November 5th, 2024. Thank
Second.
you.
Second.
Okay, we got a substitute motion by Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Cohen. Commissioner Cohen, you recognize?
Thank you very much. I think probably the board is within its discretion to do what you're suggesting based on my research. I just don't think we should. I think that we ought to place it on the ballot now. We have elected school board members that made the decision to go forward with this. You know, I hear the arguments on both sides. The teacher pay crisis is acute. The cost of living increases are just as acute, and we have two very important competing interests. All this will do is give the people the right to make the choice about whether or not they're willing to pay a little extra for the teachers or whether or not that's too high of a bar to get over. And I think given the fact that there's been definitely compelling evidence presented on both sides, the right thing to do is to put it in front of the voters at the time when the elected school board asked us to do it.
Commissioner Wilson.
Mr. Chair, there's also a pay crisis, though, of our regular citizens that are members of the community. And the only other thing was, as a general point of order, Chair, on our new policy, that when a substitute motion is made, for you to re-clarify about what that would do to the original main motion.
Okay. So I'll make a couple, no, I don't see anyone else in the queue, so I'll make a couple of comments.
I'm in the queue.
All right, Rick, we got to fix this. I'm tired of not seeing her hand raised, and she thinks I'm ignoring her. So we got to fix this.
No,
Commissioner
I
Kemp.
understand you're not.
All right, Commissioner Kemp, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you. I have had my hand raised, but I understand you're not ignoring me. I understand. But thank you. I just want to say that I believe that we very much need to let the voters of Hillsborough County decide whether they're supporting this or not. We should just move this forward, as was asked by the school board. We've already really, I think, landed a blow on our schools by reducing their portion of the CIT from 25% to 5%. When they're desperately in need of these resources and have been for decades. In Hillsborough County, we have underfunded both the capital and the operations of our schools for decades. The surrounding counties, as was pointed out, already all have passed this, so they're already able to pay their teachers more. If we don't allow this to be on the ballot, and if the voters choose not to pass it, we will likely face more of a mass exodus of our best teachers from Hillsborough County. And not only is the state of Florida underpaying teachers relative to other states all over the country. In fact, I've seen it ranked as 49th in teacher pay. But that also impacts Hillsborough County, where we're paying less than even our surrounding counties. We should not be doing that to our children, our citizens, to this county. We should give the opportunity, that's all we're doing here, the opportunity to put this on the ballot as we've been asked to do and allow the voters to decide.
Commissioner Wilson.
It was said multiple times from multiple people about that this is us trying to not put on the ballot, which is clearly not the case. We are moving forward with placing it on the ballot, and I want to make that very clear for the record. Thank you.
All right, so the substitute motion is, the initial motion was for staff to get with the school district with the, I guess, the goal, the intent of placing it on the general election ballot November of 2026, and the substitute motion is to move forward, placing on the ballot November 24. Just a couple of comments, and I've stated this previously, is that this is an issue that I'm really struggling with. I'm not questioning the financial needs facing the district, but rather the timing and potential impact to the CIT being reauthorized. I understand the challenges facing the district, both from a capital perspective with the explosive growth and the need to construct new schools and make improvements to existing schools, and as well as the fact that I'm sympathetic to the teacher shortage. Clearly, there's retention issues, and our district is at a competitive disadvantage with surrounding districts. My daughter's going to be a senior at Hillsborough High School. She has told me in the past the school's struggling to find and keep IB teachers. So I'm not questioning the need at all. However, the timing really could not be worse. I think most folks would agree that there's never a good time to raise taxes, but we really shouldn't ignore the fact that there are a lot of folks who are really struggling now, and we heard that from speaker after speaker this morning. The devastating impact of inflation has destroyed our buying power. Commissioner Wosel touched on this. I just Googled milk and gas yesterday. Milk is 48% higher today than it was 4 years ago, and gas is 58% higher than it was 4 years ago. There's an insurance crisis where rates are skyrocketing. Electric bills are going up. Again, we hear that repeatedly from our speakers every meeting. Our next meeting, staff's bringing forward a solid rate increase proposal, and now we want to potentially have a property tax increase. We really need to think about the average property owner who is struggling to make ends meet and say enough is enough. And one speaker this morning, I wrote it down, she referred experiencing skyrocketing bills. The CIT is on the ballot. To add a new tax increase on top of the CIT and all of our other increases, I'm deeply concerned will doom both referendums. And I'm not picking on the school district or targeting the school district. As I just stated in the previous discussion, I opposed moving forward with the CIT this year for these very same financial and economic concerns. And the CIT is not a new tax, it's a renewal. In 2 years, I am hopeful the economic climate will be much improved. There'll be only one tax on the ballot, and the school district will be in a much better position to ask for a new tax, which I believe will all but guarantee passage at that time. So that's where I'm landing on this. I unfortunately cannot support the substitute motion. And Commissioner Myers, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know in 2018, we all felt that we were having two taxes on the ballot. They were not passed, but the voters made a decision that both were worthy to be passed, and they supported them with two taxes. That was one with the school board, and I can't remember, the other was the county transportation tax. Okay, so given their yes, we've had increases and all, but look at us today. I mean, this is a critical need for our children who are going to school. Some of them get upset because they don't have the teachers, they have substitute teachers all year long. If you have a child in school and they're coming home and complaining or telling us, you know, Mom or Dad, you know, I don't have this teacher, this particular teacher was so good to me, and what have you. I just think that let the voters decide. We place it on the ballot and let the voters decide. They vote it up or down. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a substitute motion. Commissioner Myers to place the initiative on the ballot November of this year, second by Commissioner Wostel. Commissioner Cameron Cepeda?
Yes, for the same reasons that Commissioner Hagan and Commissioner Wostel already mentioned, and also for the, you know, the two competing on the ballot at the same time. For those reasons, I cannot support doing that at this time, and I prefer 2026 for those reasons.
Okay, so motion Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Cohen. Substitute motion, please record your vote.
Yes.
This is on the substitute motion.
I'm voting on the substitute. For clarification, I'm voting on the substitute
Yes.
motion.
Yes.
Motion failed 3-4. Commissioners Cameron Cepeda, Hagan, Miller, and Wostel voted no.
All right, back to the original motion by Commissioner Wostel and second Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. Please record your vote.
No.
Motion carried 4-3. Commissioners Cohen, Kemp, and Myers voted no.
All right, thank you. Bonnie, next item.